I'm Kat. This is Kat. No, this is Barry, but I'm Kat. Confused.
Cat to life.
The moment I press the record button, I get so nervous. But when I'm live, I'm not. It's kind of weird. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about the fact that I've been streaming for a year consistently. 6 months on Mixer, 6 months on Twitch after Mixer died. So I wanted to share my experience and my findings and overall things that I didn't expect I would encounter. Because going into streaming, I did a lot of research. And I streamed a little bit off and on here and there for like 3 years. Just little bits and pieces. It's not like I was completely new to streaming. I definitely thought that I knew majority of what I'm going to encounter. And it ended up being not what I expected. Not in a bad way, but I definitely learned some things that I didn't think I need to learn. I'm gonna go through 5 pros and 5 cons about streaming in general and things that I've learned. I'm gonna start with the good things. With the good things about streaming and things that I learned that are positive about streaming. I want to stress out that I was streaming for a year on a very consistent schedule from like Tuesday to Friday from 1 to 6 p.m. all the time. Schedule lady, that's me. My name is Schedule Lady, not Cat. Don't get confused. The first good thing, I made a lot of new friends and I have a lovely little community that I'm really proud of. That's you guys. That's you. You're the best guys. And honestly, nothing comes even close to the feeling you get when you see people in your community interacting and playing games together and just being a community, you know? It feels good. I feel like this mama bear that is like watching her little kittens go off and play together, and I'm like, oh, that's so nice. Second point, before I get too teary. Second point, I finally have a schedule in the madness that is COVID. Okay, so I'm a freelancer. I work my own hours. I work for as long as I need to until the job is done. So schedule is not something that I have. I needed something that is on schedule, and that's where streaming came in. That's kind of why I started. So I have like some kind of a strict schedule in my life because everything else is full chaos, especially with COVID, that everyone is working from home and everything is just like madness, chaos. That was a very good thing for me personally. That's a very like personal point, I guess. But I like that I can have a schedule for something and people can expect me at that time every day. The third good point is that I get to play a lot of games with my friends. The way I see streaming is like me and my friends gathered on a couch and playing games together. That's how I see it. It's just, that's how it feels, you know? And that's a good thing. I didn't think it would feel that way, but it kind of does sometimes, depending on what games you play. But that's kind of it. Yeah. The fourth point is one that people don't often talk about. Fourth positive point about streaming for a year that I've learned. And this is like one of the points that I have learned. I didn't think I would learn that, but I did. And that's self-discovery. There is so much you can learn about yourself only through watching yourself over and over again. Especially if you edit your VODs like I do for YouTube, you actually have to watch yourself. You actually have to listen to your voice, which is something that takes some time to like get used to it, to listening to your own voice, watching yourself. And you get to discover so much about yourself that you didn't realize, you didn't know about yourself. It's like watching yourself through the eyes of a viewer. It's such a weird experience at first, but the more you do it, the more you realize things about yourself that you didn't know before. So I think it's a very like good way to go about self-discovery. I didn't think it would be a path of self-discovery, but it was. I learned a lot about myself even after I thought I knew myself pretty well. The fifth and final positive point that I've learned about streaming for a year, you learn a lot about other people. Like, if you have social media presence or any kind of medium to big following anywhere, you know that people like to share a lot. People are just craving personal connection with others, and that's not a bad thing. I sometimes it can be, but I try not to see it in a negative light. The amount of information people confide in anyone that's a public figure, like, I never asked for that. I don't condone it. I don't think it's a bad thing, but sometimes it can be. Just stop sharing your most personal things with random strangers on the internet that you don't know. I mean, don't do that. But also, I see this as a learning experience that I've learned a lot about people. Because people are not gonna tell you that kind of things, you know? If you go to work and meet people in the office or go to a bar and talk to people at the bar, they're not gonna tell you what people are telling you in your DMs. That's just not gonna happen. Trust me. They're not gonna say the same things. So I find that a learning experience to learn more about other people and how people think, you know? So I consider that a learning. Off to the bad stuff. The top 5 bad things that I have learned from streaming for a year. I think the first one that I want to stress out the most out of everything is that streaming is not a career path. There is no career. There is no streaming career. Like, I hear so many people come and ask me, how do I become a streamer? I'm like, first and foremost, I don't make a full-time income out of streaming. Hell, I don't even make part-time income out of streaming. So there is no clear career path. You know, when you go into an office, you start off as an intern, you go to junior, you make your way to mid, you become senior eventually. You have a clear path, like, paved in front of you, and like a very clear line, like a quest line. You don't have that in streaming. There is no career path. Hell, majority of people don't even make a career out of that. It's like 0.01% of Twitch makes a career out of that. That's like insanely low. So I want to stress out, this is not a career path. It's not a career. It doesn't exist. It's not a real job. I mean, it is a real job, but for very, very few people. Very few people. And they did not start streaming with the intention of making it a career, trust me. If you start streaming with the intention of making it into a career, you've already doomed yourself. Just don't do it. Or just go make YouTube videos. That's way better. Way better. The second point that I learned that is kind of negative, well, really negative, that one is probably the most negative out of all of them, is that you need to have thick skin. You need to. Like, there's no other way. If you're someone that is like very empathetic and you feel for people, and if you let other people's comments get to you, you should probably not stream, because that's gonna break you. It is literally going to break you as a person emotionally. You have no idea. Like, imagine someone saying the one thing that triggers you every time, every single day for a year. Imagine that. If you think you can survive that, you're good. If you think you're gonna let it get to you at some point and you're gonna like have an emotional breakdown, then probably don't stream. Just don't. Make YouTube videos. I think I'm both unfortunate enough and grateful to have grown playing MMORPGs and been on the worst side of the internet for as long as I can remember. That has both broken me as a human being, but also made me expect the worst out of people. Is that a good thing? Okay, in this situation, it's a good thing because that prepared me for streaming. I'm like, I've been through the boot camp for this shit. I know what to expect. A lot of people, and myself including, underestimate and cannot even understand how you would feel if someone calls you names every single day for a year. You think you're gonna be fine because you might occasionally get it. Everyone gets like insulted at one point or another. Everyone gets into online arguments at some point. But imagine having those every single fucking day. I thought I knew what that would feel like, but I didn't. I didn't. I really didn't. Another thing that you need thick skin for, especially if you decide to go on Twitch, is how fickle everything is. Everything that happens on Twitch happens in the moment. It's not like YouTube where your VOD is contained forever and it's gonna be there forever and it's gonna like keep accumulating views over time. Whatever happens on Twitch happens in the moment, and after that it's gone, and people don't understand what that means. What I mean is, I'm gonna give Albion as an example. You can play Albion for 5 months and grow your concurrent viewership from 20 people to 100 people, and then the moment you switch that game, you're gonna lose all that viewers and you're gonna go back to 20 people. And you know, for some people, that will be crushing experience. That's really crushing. I don't think people understand how crushing that is. Even the biggest streamers always lose viewers when they switch games. And that's normal. But the way it makes you feel is something that you're not ready for until you experience it, I think. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. And I haven't met a single person that's been ready for that. So I don't know how people do that. And that's about it. That's the negative points that I've learned about streaming. And we're gonna have a little Q&A session. Why did I start streaming? Because I had the time and I wanted structure in my life. And I felt like streaming can give me structure. Basically. I had the time. This is not my main income. What topics did you speak about when no one was there to watch? Good question. When I had very few viewers and chat wasn't active, I would just well, I mean, I do that offline too, to be honest. I talk to myself. Like, I would react to what's happening in the game, and you know how I sometimes go on a tangent when something reminds me of something else? I would start having a conversation with myself about, you know, when I was playing The Witcher, he would go around the taverns and I was like, oh, that reminds me about that one time when I was there and that happened. And, you know, I just do that. That's just part of who I am. I don't think I ever tried specifically to do that for streaming. I'm just being me. Your internal monologue is an internal? Yes, that's true. That's true. I feel like when I have an internal monologue, which I do sometimes, I feel like I can't come to the same revelations and conclusions that I do when I actually voice it out. What equipment did you buy for streaming that you love? I feel like equipment doesn't really matter. I think a lot of people don't stress this out enough. As long as you have like decent audio that people can hear you, the rest doesn't really matter. But something that I do love is having a good mic, I guess. It always feels like extra nice when you play with your friends over voice comms and your mic is the nicest sounding mic. Like, there's something special about that, you know? Like, ooh, you sound very clear and very nice. You sound just like in real life. And I'm like, oh, yes, I do. Yeah. Do you still enjoy it? And do you have long-term plans for streaming? That's a very good question, Ollie. Very good question, actually. Do I still enjoy it? Yeah. I want to say yeah. I'm not enjoying it as much as I did, I think. I used to be a lot more hyper about it, but I think that's normal for everything because we're past our honeymoon period now. You know, you enjoy everything in the honeymoon period and then everything like kind of drops a little bit, but you find new things that give you joy. It's just that I found new things that don't give me joy as well as new things that give me joy. You become more balanced over time. My priorities and my kind of values have really changed, and I think that's normal. The more you do something, the more your values and priorities in that thing are gonna change, which is normal. And I think my priorities in terms of streaming have changed to make more YouTube videos, because on YouTube things stay there. You have actual discoverability, which you don't on Twitch. By the way, you're never gonna get discovered on Twitch. Doesn't matter what niche game you get into, you're not gonna get discovered the way you're gonna get discovered in YouTube, where you're gonna get subscribers that care for you and your content that you create, you know. That's just not gonna happen on Twitch. It's impossible. In 2020, it's impossible to grow on Twitch. Anyone who tells you otherwise is just someone that wants to tell you what you want to hear, and that's not gonna help you as a person. You know, I'm the tough love mom, and I'm gonna give you the tough love, and I'm gonna tell you things as they are. So I'm focusing more on growing the community, and the only way I can do that is on YouTube. That's why we're making YouTube videos now. Is there anything you would do different if you started streaming afresh? Yeah. If I started streaming afresh, first I probably wouldn't go on Mixer. I mean, that goes on without saying, I think. I would do it on YouTube. Honestly, I would do it on YouTube. I think the only reason I'm on Twitch is because I like the culture of Twitch. As toxic as that sounds, I like the Twitch culture. But if I was starting from scratch right now, I would just stream on YouTube. I would absolutely go on YouTube. And I regret not going on YouTube sooner. That's, yeah. RIP Mixer. What was your first reaction when you learned about the Mixer shutdown? Well, Pookie, you were there, but for the people that weren't, me and my friends from Mixer, we quit Mixer about a week before they announced that they're shutting down, because for months and months and months we were saying, you know, something's not right with Mixer. A lot of things don't make sense. They're going in a bad way. We were saying that for months before we finally decided, you know, they're not taking any actions to make this better. We're gonna quit their platform. And we quit their platform, and a week later they announced that they're shutting down. So my reaction was, I told you so. But also sad, because there were a lot of people that made a full-time income on Mixer that cannot even like hit the partnership goals for Twitch now. And it's sad, because the growth that you could get on Mixer is impossible on Twitch. You could still grow on Mixer. That was still possible, even though the platform was so much smaller than what Twitch is. But you know, people grew on it, and people cannot grow on Twitch because there's no discoverability on Twitch. No, I like Twitch, but I don't think that Twitch can do half of the things that YouTube can do for you in 2020. I hope that changes in 2021. I hope Twitch get their shit together and put it back up their arsehole. But you know, that might happen, that might not happen. Who knows? Okay, what resources? I watch a lot of Devin Nash. I sometimes watch Alpha Gaming on YouTube. I do what they tell you to do. Which is be engaging, be yourself, do things that you want to do, you know? Do it for yourself first. Don't focus on the numbers. I don't look at my live view count at all. And yeah, do YouTube. That's it. If you want to get discovered, do YouTube. Easy clap. Easy clap. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and be excited for my future content on YouTube, because obviously I'm gonna be doing more of that. And I'll see you on my stream every Tuesday to Thursday from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. UK time. I'll see you there.